This week in our New Zealand series, we are visiting some of New Zealand's old mining towns and ghost towns, and learning more about what life looked like during the country's biggest gold strike, the Otago Gold Rush. Although I now travel and skateboard and create YouTube videos, I was actually raised on a farm by an old miner, my dad. My dad loved to gold pan, hunt on horseback, and preserve his dad's legacy of being a true cowboy. My house growing up was filled with all kinds of old trinkets and antiques, and I can't help but think of him every time I'm in an old gold rush town. So even though he is no longer with us and I'm on the other side of the world, this trip is dedicated to him.
Welcome to Arrowtown. So Arrowtown is a quaint historic gold mining town here in central Otago. It's really close to Queenstown, although I have never actually been here before, except for when we went 4x4ing to Macetown in our friend Rob's Land Rover Defender. But I've actually never walked around this town. It's super cute. It is fully packed with tourists. There are so many people here. Today it's so hard to find a parking spot, and it's literally Tuesday, like midday. So maybe it just gets really busy here. News to me. But anyways, Arrowtown is a little town here with tons of shops, cafes, and we're gonna grab some lunch and explore, so let's check it out.
As you can tell, it's just like super duper busy, tons of people around, so I don't know if there's like an event going on or what. Or maybe it's just always this busy. I wonder if this thing works. Oh, it actually does. For those of you who may be too young to know, this is a phone booth. I know I'm not old enough to have used. I have used a phone booth, but cell phones were like just becoming a thing when I was old enough.
I cannot believe you just said that. That is crazy. Are you serious?
What?
You never used payphones?
I just said I've used one, but I never really had to.
Oh my god, I had to okay, my friends and I would go to the mall every single weekend, and that's how we'd call our parents to tell them that we were done at the mall shopping to pick us up.
Really?
Every weekend.
I never had to do that.
Oh my god, no, I used payphones all the time. We're the same age. I mean, I'm 2 weeks older than Nick. Maybe in those 2 weeks, I was gonna.
Carrier pigeons where I'm from.
I can't believe you didn't use payphones like all the time. I used them all the time when I was a kid. It's cool, there's like gold shops. I mean, obviously modern establishments like coffee shops and all of that, but they're in these older buildings. And so it truly does feel like you've kind of gone back in time, except then you look around, you look at everyone's modern clothing, and you kind of remember what age you're in.
Let's check out Coachman's Hall. Trinkets, things to sell. Ooh, gold pans. My dad loved gold panning. Where he grew up, a little town called Lillooet. It's an old like mining town. So all of this stuff he was really passionate about, and it's very nostalgic for me, seeing gold pans and sluice boxes and all that kind of stuff, because he loved it.
Come out of there.
Yeah.
And that's from the river, so sometimes it gets more gold than what you actually put on.
Yeah.
Perfect. Love that hairstyle on you.
So the actual town of Arrowtown sprung up in the 1860s when gold was found in the Arrow River. So one of the many attractions of coming to Arrowtown is that you can hire a gold pan to go panning for gold in the Arrow River, which if you'd watched our Macetown vlog, we actually did that with Rob. I know back home in Canada, you have to like make a claim on a certain area to be able to keep the gold that you pan or sluice out of a river. Rob had let us know that if we did find gold, that's great, but we have to put it back. I really want popcorn. Oh, let's go look in the theater. This is so cool. This is such a good place to come on a date. Rachel asked me out to come here. Not today, but for another time. So this is Dorothy Brown Cinema, a cute little cinema with lots of little couches. And then outside here is a gin bar, which I think is pretty self-explanatory, but it's so cute in here. There's a little bookstore as well. It'd be like a dream to own something like this one day. Like it's such a fun little business endeavor or something to do, like for Rachel and I. It's like a perfect date night idea. Hi, buddy. Hi. Oh, he's so soft and sweet.
Aww.
Oh.
He's so sweet.
We have to come back here immediately, like next week, and come and do this. It looks so fun.
So we are here at the Arrowtown Chinese settlement. So back during the gold mining days, Chinese immigrants came here and built their own community. They made up about 40% of the miners here in central Otago and produced about 30% of all of the gold that was produced from this region. Some of these buildings have been restored, and as you walk through the Arrowtown Heritage Site here in Arrowtown, you kind of learn the story about the Chinese immigrants during the mining era. So really interesting. So people would come here to mine to try to escape from poverty and were seeking wealth, really. But obviously the conditions weren't always so good. It is really quite eye-opening reading about the conditions that the Chinese immigrants had to kind of endure. People came here seeking wealth and then were met with racism and other horrible living conditions. It is shocking and really interesting to learn about. Crazy that we're just about 20 minutes away from Queenstown and we've been living here for almost 5 months and I had no idea that this place existed.
And now it's time for lunch.
So we were just walking past Arrow Thai Food and we saw that they had a lunch special on till 3 p.m. So we just are sharing a quick little pad thai so that we can be fueled to get back on the road. Looks like it's gonna rain. We'll see what kind of weather we get as the day goes on. Never a dull moment in New Zealand. The weather's always changing here. We are looking at a big statue of fruit, which means we have officially made it to Cromwell. Gonna get out of the car here and stretch our legs again. I just really don't feel like being cooped up today. I just don't at all. I feel like this last week at work just dragged along and it's nice to get out of the house and out of town and do something different, you know? That's what these videos are all about every week. Oh my God, it's just so nice to get out and see this country. I don't think I've shared this online before. Definitely we share this in person all the time to anyone who will listen, but when we lived in Australia, we were just so focused on making money and saving money. And to be fair, we went to Australia after we had already lived in Southeast Asia, where the pay is really just not the best. And we had a great time living there, but when we moved to Australia, we were so focused on okay, this is where we're gonna go to save a bunch of money. And guess what? We did. We saved a lot of money. But we didn't really explore Australia much. We just kind of lived in Sydney and worked and that's it. That was our entire life. I don't want to end up leaving New Zealand and having that regret. And so it's been so nice every week to be able to get away and see this country, whether it's a town that's super close to Queenstown or a place that's 4 hours away. It's such a fun country to explore. Look at the sun, it's coming out as I'm talking. Here we go, finding a parking spot in Cromwell.
So there's a dam here called the Clyde Dam, and when it was finished in 1990, Cromwell's main street disappeared under Lake Dunstan. So what we're going to be looking at is the rebuilt version of that main kind of strip that went through town. We've been here once before, and it seems like a really cool little piece of history, so we're very excited to check it out again.
So this was actually a family business that is in its original location, which is really cool. Okay, so yeah, it says here, much of the original Cromwell Main Street was submerged in 1993 when Lake Dunstan was created behind the newly completed Clyde Dam. The old Cromwell group was formed in the late 1980s and worked with the Ministry of Works to retain many of the original buildings as possible. Today, this waterfront property is in its original location and represents the old town's only remaining industrial building. That's cool, it's literally in the same location, so it was right here. Last time we were in Cromwell, we walked past this place, Cromwell Pizza, and we realized that they actually do have vegan cheese, which some of these smaller fast food joints don't usually have vegan cheese. So we thought, why not pick up a pizza? And then we went to go order it, and guess how much it is? $13. So good.
There's also no extra charge for the vegan cheese, I just noticed.
I can't believe it. This is my new favorite place. I haven't even tried it yet. Okay, here it goes. The veg hot and spicy with vegan cheese. Oh, it's hot.
It's really hot.
Oh, hot. The crust is strange. It's really crispy. It's good. I would go there a million times over, again and again. We are in wine country, like we really are. And we have not had a glass of wine. And guess what? It's 5 o'clock. It's time.
So now we're gonna head into a little roadside stop called the Stoker Room and have a wine tasting.
So there's 2 options for the wine tasting. There's one for $12, which is 3 wines, and they're all Pinot Noirs. Or you could do 5 wines, but they're mostly whites, and then there's 1 Pinot Noir and 1 Rosé. I think that I'm gonna do the 5 wines. It's called A Taste of Wild Earth because these are Wild Earth wines.
The portions that we have in front of me are for 2 servings, because obviously Rachel and I will both be having our own. We've got our wine list here. It's almost kind of like a joint flight. It's kind of cool. I like it. So to start, we have the Wild Earth Pinot Noir Rosé. Next, we are going to be trying the Pinot Gris with intense pear, elderflower, green apple, and lime aromas on the nose with a hint of spice and ginger.
That's amazing.
Next up is the Riesling with a bunch of fruity aromas and a touch of pink grapefruit. I think I've got a career in wine pouring. Next up, we have our Chardonnay, which Rachel is the most excited about. Rachel and I both just looked at each other and we were like, whoa.
I'm in heaven.
And finally, we have our Wild Earth Pinot Noir 2022.
So we just pulled into our campsite for the night and we're trying to find a spot. It's a freedom camping spot, but it's open for self-contained vehicles, but also non-self-contained vehicles like ours. We are allowed to park here as well because there are public toilets, but it is kind of busy. So we're just kind of driving around trying to find the best spot. I don't want to go right next to the bathroom. And it's right on Lake Dunstan. Oh, that's a sweet spot. My hair's going back in braids. It's so windy now. That's better. So the weather has, in fact, turned around and we got sun, but with the sun came wind. Of course, when we go to a spot where we're like, oh, we're gonna cook something, really grateful that the sun is out now. Really grateful for this freedom camping spot that non-self-contained vehicles are welcome at. You can stay here for 3 nights at a time, lots of space, and everything is just right on the lake. It's beautiful. I wanna go to this rock. We are cooking this morning. I'm actually gonna make our lunch for today, but we'll probably also have it for breakfast because I had full intentions of cooking breakfast and then lunch, but it all went out the window when I actually woke up. So we got edamame, we got tofu, cucumber, carrot, brown rice, and cabbage. We're gonna make a little brown rice salad that I saw on TikTok. I'm gonna fry up that tofu first, cutting everything with this tiny little knife because we forgot our big knife. So this is gonna be the base of our salad. So I'm just gonna add the carrots and cucumber to this, and then I'm gonna fry up the tofu. And Nick is doing a really good job helping. What do you have to say for yourself?
Hello.
Oh my God, this is getting so full. Water. Oh, this is gonna be good. Especially after wine yesterday and pizza yesterday. So easy to wake up and then just continue eating pizza and shit, right? The way to break it, I find, is to make a good bowl of veggies. I'm gonna add those edamame beans, the dressing, and it's time to mix that up. Ta-da! Oh, look who emerges now. Breakfast time, honey. Okay, we're fed. We are ready to go. So we are actually going to a ghost town. We have actually been here before, We lost all our audio from that trip. Maybe it was the ghost. Maybe the ghost took the audio. But we are going to Bendigo Downs, which is fully a ghost town. It's really cool. We can't wait to show you guys. And honestly, it's just like across the street from the place that we stayed on the side of the road last night. And you know what? It's very rare that you can find a campsite for non-self-contained vehicles that's fully free. And that was such a good spot, like right on Lake Dunstan. So beautiful. So the drive shouldn't be too long. Like honestly, as I'm talking, we're looking for the turnoff. The road is one of those roads where I'm like, you don't need 4x4 to get there, but I'm really happy that we have 4x4 because it's just a gravel road the whole time. So we just breeze over it. Look at this beautiful weather we're having today. This might be it.
It'd be nice to be able to, I want to take this thing like proper off-roading, you know, but hopefully soon. We do have a plan in the works for that, but it is nice to kind of rip down some dirt roads and use this thing for what it actually feels like it should be used for, you know? Like I said, we have something cooking. So the further we get up this path, the more we're seeing tons of vineyards, or maybe it's one big vineyard, but we're also starting to see some of the remains of the old ghost town here and there. It's kind of like way up in the mountains, and there's not really any water around, which I feel like if you're gonna be making a town, you'd want there to be an abundance of water or like easy water access. Check this out. This is a cool looking road. So it looks like there were some hikers there.
I think there's a track that you can do.
Yeah. Oh, here's some remains of an old wagon.
And look right here too. This is
Oh yeah.
an old house or something.
I'm the ghost of this town.
You're the ghost? I see a scary ghost!
I reckon. Is that what ghosts say? I reckon. That's what ghosts say.
Definitely New Zealand ghosts would say, I reckon. So it says, on first impression, Bendigo today appears to be a harsh and desolate place to live. Luckily for the miners and families who lived here, the reality was quite different.
So essentially what we're looking at is the remains of the stone homes, which is a testament to the Welsh's stonemasonry skills. However, there would have been a lot more homes here, like iron homes, which were easily dismantled to be set up at a new location. Obviously with the stone homes, you can't just do that. And this is what remains of them. Yeah, I mean, this is, because when was what did this have been? 1875. Holy, like this is what I'm talking about. Like to bring all this stone up here, it would have been like horse and carriage. Can't really carry it that much.
This definitely has a less sad feel just knowing the history of the Chinese miners that came here. But apparently this place, Welshtown, at the time was thriving and wasn't so desolate, because now it really does feel like, I mean, obviously it's a ghost town, so it's gonna feel empty. Even just this area feels very kind of far away from everything, like kind of in the middle of nowhere. That's what it feels like. And look at this deserty landscape. Say it in every vlog, New Zealand is just so diverse in its landscapes. This massive hole is all that is left of one of the greatest mining gambles at Bendigo. Are you looking at a giant hole in the ground?
So I just tossed a tiny little pebble down that shaft to see like how long it would take until I heard it hit. And it took like a while. I don't know, maybe like 3 seconds, which isn't like, doesn't seem like a lot of a free falling pebble. I did not think it was going to be that deep. I thought I could see the bottom, but it's just like grass growing off on the side. It's crazy.
So we're just reading the sign again, and it does say that this shaft is 200 meters deep. So people call Cromwell the fruit bowl of the south because the fruit from this region is just apparently the best. There's like a million fruit stands and stuff when you're driving through. And in New Zealand, they're known for like their real fruit ice cream as well. We're about to go get a little coffee and maybe some fruit as well at this one roadside stop here. Really, there's loads of like fruit stalls. This is not really what this is, but it'll still be good. Oh my God, there's bees.
The queen bee is usually in the middle of the hive, and she'll be surrounded by the worker bees. So presumably she should be in here somewhere, or is that? No.
Okay, so Nick got his coffee with 4 shots of espresso because, I don't know, he's unhinged. I didn't get fruit in a basket. I was going to and then didn't and decided to drink it instead. But this is beetroot. I think there's like spinach and apple or something like that. Oh my God.
Try mine.
Okay, here goes this coffee.
Oh, dude. Fucking perfect.
It's so good. We're at Freeway Orchard. Oh, and with that, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm gonna go enjoy this for the rest of the afternoon, and we're gonna get some rest in before we have to work again tomorrow morning. So again, thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video.